Welcome to leg 33 of the Great Loop aboard the Perch. This is cruising info on our leg from Shady Harbor, New York, which is in New Baltimore. It's Shady Harbor Marina, to Waterford, New York, which is the start of the Erie Canal. So we got a bright early start from Shady Harbor. This was a fabulous stop. We were here for, I think, 4 or 5 days, enjoying the hospitality of the Donovans there at Donovan Shady Harbor Marina. This was the first marina we had been to in a while that had a courtesy car. The restaurant on site has really good food, and the staff from the marina to the restaurant just all go well above and beyond to make sure that boaters are well taken care of. So we thank them for that. And we worked our way up the Hudson. There was some commercial traffic out there with us. We saw this big commercial ship heading in the other direction. And this also today would be the first lock that we will go through in quite some time. We really haven't had a lock since the Dismal Swamp Canal. This is also the first big city that we've seen since New York City, so not quite the scale of New York City, but Albany, New York is the current capital of the state of New York. So you will pass by that, and it is a viable stop if you'd like to. A lot of loopers stayed on the town wall in Troy along the Hudson, so we passed some looper boats there at Troy on our way towards the federal lock at Troy, New York. So you can see on our track we kind of pulled over to the side there. That was actually entering the lock. Here's the view pulling up towards the lock. I didn't do a whole lot of video on this lock. As I said, it was kind of the first one we had done in a little while. Really just wanted to put the phone down and focus on locking through safely, which we did. So pulled out of the lock, continued on towards Waterford. And this is where one of the major route decisions of the Great Loop comes. You can either continue, the sign shows it to the right, that's kind of straight into the Champlain Canal, or you can turn left into the Erie Canal, which is what we did. This is the free wall at Waterford that you can see there, and I've got another picture of that as well. Staying on the wall is free. If you want power, there's a small charge, I think $10 for that. But we arrived on a Sunday. There was a farmer's market going on. There was live entertainment, all kinds of vendors with vegetables and meats and fruits and even cookies and also some crafts. So it was just a lovely time to arrive there at the wall. You can see that mule statue. That is kind of in recognition of the fact that here on the Erie Canal, originally the way that boats moved through was that the mules would walk along the side of the canal, pulling the boats by ropes. And also from here at the top of the lock, I could get a nice view of inside the lock, which we would be going through the next morning. From there, I took a kind of long walk, about 3 miles, to these falls on the Mohawk River. These falls are the problem, and the flight lock outside of Waterford is actually the solution. You go up that flight of 5 locks, and that is the way you're bypassing these falls to make the river navigable. So I thought that was just super interesting. Really kind of neat area up there by the falls. Very industrial with lots of old factories that are being turned into loft apartments. So it was kind of a neat walk, but a longish walk, 3 miles there, and then of course the 3 miles back. So this is our overall track for the day. You can see it shows 2 voyages, and that's because of the stop in the lock. Total of about 3 hours underway, a distance of about 21 nautical miles. We averaged 6.6 knots today, and our max speed was 10 knots. There's a look at our overall track. You can see that the federal lock at Troy is pretty close to the end of our journey for the day, but we did enjoy being tied up at the Waterford Wall, a very inexpensive place to spend the night even with power, and several other looper boats tied up there with us. So a good stop, and it's really exciting to be starting the locks on the Erie Canal tomorrow, starting with the Waterford flight lock. We will be back with that leg very soon. See you then.